Hey everybody, Livingston here. We're about to jump into another Twilight Zone episode, this time episode 8, Time Enough at Last. Looking forward to this one. Let's jump in. Bound between light and shadow.
And the summit
of his knowledge.
It is an area which we call
Twilight Zone. Looks like a bank. I do know this one. This is Burgess Meredith. I won't say what happens in case y'all have not watched it, anybody who is watching, but...
Have you ever read David Copperfield?
How's that?
He's a lover of books.
Miserable man called Murdstone. Isn't that a villainous name?
Let me know, comment below, what is one of your favorite roles of Burgess Meredith? Of course, you got Mickey from Rocky, but I also liked him as the father in Grumpy Old Men and Grumpier Old Men. He played the father of Jack Lemmon, but he's also a good penguin. I mean, it's kind of where you get your quintessential penguin sort of way of acting.
Oh, yeah. Just put this.
Henry Bemis.
I wonder if I might see you in my office, Mr. Bemis.
Why, certainly, Mr. Carswell.
Now, if you'll be good enough to accompany me.
Getting fired?
Mr. Henry Bemis, a charter member in the Fraternity of Dreamers. But in just a moment, Mr. Bemis will enter a world without bank presidents, or wives, or clocks, or anything else.
He loves to read. He should have got into the realm of doing, like, editing or reviewing. President.
I shall come to the point of this interview. What constitutes an efficient member of this organization?
Someone who works.
I.e., an organization man who functions within an organization. You, Mr. Bemis, do not function within the organization.
What?
You, Mr. Bemis, are a reader.
What's wrong with that?
I see you constantly going downstairs into the vault during your lunch hour. You will henceforth devote your time to your job and forget reading. Do I make myself perfectly clear?
It's just that my wife won't let me read at home.
Well, that sucks.
And then after dinner, if I reads them.
I remember how this episode ends. I don't remember how we get there. It's been so long since I've seen it, but I do know the punchline of this episode.
Your wife is an amazingly bright woman.
I think Burgess also does another Twilight Zone episode at some point down the line. I guess we'll get there. I do remember he does like another one as another character.
Good day, Bemis.
See you. A crap job, gets home, can't read, his wife doesn't allow it. I mean, gotta find some time somewhere. I don't think he learned his lesson.
Henry!
Yes, dear, I'm in the living room.
That would annoy me too.
You want more coffee or don't you?
It would be nice to have conversation if I can know some current events, which comes in a newspaper.
We're going over to the Phillips house. All right, Henry. Anything to say?
Yes.
No, dear, nothing to say. I'll be ready on time.
See that you are.
Yeah, you gotta put your foot down in that situation. I mean, she'd probably have more respect for the guy. Completely owns him.
Henry?
Yeah?
Yes, my dear?
He's ready. Do you like my shirt?
What have you got, Henry?
Or a book?
God?
Got.
Nothing, my dear.
What's this?
Isn't that odd? Now, how did that get here?
A book of modern poetry. Would you like to read me some, too?
Oh, I would love to. There are one or two things from T.S. Eliot and Edmondson, Vincent Millay, Robert Frost, Carl Sandburg.
Just read it. She marked him. What a horrible person.
Who did this, Helen?
Who do you think did it, Henry? You should thank me, really.
Why?
A grown man who reads silly, ridiculous, nonsensical doggerel.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought reading was always pushed.
Helen! Helen, don't do that for Helen! Please don't do that!
Yeah, why wouldn't you just take your lunch break, and just spend it reading? When you go to work in the morning, leave a little earlier so you can read in the park, or read in a library, or go to a coffee shop. I really don't see how it's that hard to find time to read. You can always find time for yourself, unless you're a parent or dealing with like 5 kids and a newborn or something along those lines, or you have a house full of orphan children. I don't know, but I'm sure there are circumstances where you can't read or have a moment to yourself. For the most part, you can always find like maybe a minute or two just to read a book. But I think this guy just wants to read, and that's all he wants to do. Oh, yeah, I do remember now. H-bomb goes off. Thank God he was in the bank vault. Wakes up to a totally different world than the one he left. Well, thank God he was able to push it open. I wouldn't say he would be the last person left in the world. I would say he was probably the last person left in that area, maybe. But to just outright say that's it, he's the only guy left. How big was this bomb?
I can only tell you that in adherence to duty.
Guess we'll find out.
Miss Jackson, that's my speech for the Thursday night banquet. Could you
Or
type
a
that?
quarter. Your boss is dead. Bet production design probably had a field day doing this. All the sets before it were basically sets I think they could have just went to and filmed at. I think this might have been the first time they were able to create something. I mean, I guess they might have built that house in the last episode we watched where the guy was living on the asteroid.
Seconds, minutes, hours. Who looks for a spark in the ashes of a dead world? The mailbox of what was once his house and is now a rubble. They lie at his feet as battered monuments to what was but is no more.
Helen,
I don't think Helen made it.
where are you?
Vaporized.
Mr. Henry Bemis on an 8-hour tour of a graveyard.
It would be kind of pretty devastating, I'm sure, walking around what once was your neighborhood, and it's just ash now. I mean, none of that becomes a reality at any point in my lifetime or even in the future.
Everybody's dead except me. Why am I all right? I was right there in the middle of...
A bank vault. Duh.
down in the vault. Thing of it is, I'm not at all sure that I want to be alive.
Yeah, that would be pretty bleak existence to be the only one left alive. But again, he hasn't left beyond his area. I mean, I think I would travel, head in one direction until I found something. If I didn't find anything, I mean, you'd find out pretty quick, I guess. Usually there's a crap load of radiation with those sort of bombs.
Because the worst part, the very worst part is being alone. Reading the same half of a newspaper over and over.
You'll find a book. Good morning. What to do today? A car? Does it work? It doesn't mean it's gonna turn on. Nope.
Someone there? Please, someone!
Nobody's there.
Quite all right. This is solitude. I've never had much solitude.
It's what you wanted all your life.
Yes, I'm really extremely fortunate.
It doesn't seem it, though. Not the way he's acting.
Someone, please! Someone, please!
I can see that he basically, when he hit that bunch of wood and turned left, that's just the wall in the background. I mean, it's a good matte painting, and I guess the black and white kind of covers up a lot of the flaws. It's really, really well done. A gun. Don't take the easy way out. You're giving up too soon.
If there were just something to do.
Walk in a direction. Put it down, dude. Public library. So did anything survive for him to read?
Collected works of Dickens, collected works of George Bernard Shaw.
Oh, he's got plenty to do now.
All the books I want.
He's in heaven.
This year, the next year,
He's got all the years ready.
and the year after that.
But what exactly is that gonna get you? I mean, it's a lot of knowledge, a lot of time, a lot of stories to suck into your brain, but you gotta have more than just books.
There's time now. There's all the time I need and all the time I want. There's time enough at last.
Thank God for that. Guess the bomb has a positive outcome. No! Uh-oh.
That's not fair. That's not fair at all.
Nope. You gotta feel bad for this guy. It's a really bad outcome for somebody who probably deserved a good outcome.
The small man in the glasses who wanted nothing but time. Henry Bemis, now just a part of a smashed landscape. Mr. Henry Bemis, in the Twilight Zone.
That sucks for Henry. Well, that was the Twilight Zone episode 8, and I gotta say, it's probably one of the better episodes, probably the best episode I've seen up to the date so far, out of the 8 that I have seen. And it happens to be something that I watched years ago. I'm talking maybe 20, 25 years ago when I was like 10. And it was a good episode. I remembered how it ended. I didn't remember how we came to that conclusion. But, you know, the way it ended, it was just kind of just so sad for Henry, because he's a character that you understood that he just wanted some time to himself, and he had a very mean wife, a very mean boss, a crappy job, a crappy life, and then a bomb goes off, and it turns out it ends up being one of the best things to ever happen to him, because that's what he wanted. He wanted time. He wanted the time to sit down and read a book, and he wanted to read all the time. But I don't know if that would have been healthy for the guy to sit there and read all the time, but hey, that's what made him happy, and I can't really knock what makes people happy. But the fact that he loses his glasses at the end sucks. It's a bummer. I hated it. Hated it for the character. It would have been good to see him kind of have a happy ending, and I think it would have been great just to leave it where he was able to read his books and just end the episode right there. But no, we had to just kick the guy while he was down or about to get up, and then ended up back down again in the gutter. And now we just make up our own idea of what maybe happened to the guy in a post-apocalyptic world. And if it was me, I would have walked to the edge of town and seen, like, is there more? Maybe walk to another town, go further past, go over to another state and see if that state's gone. I mean, it's a big world, and it's hard to believe that he is the last one on Earth. But anyways, let me know comment below. What did you think of this episode? I'm going to jump into some of the trivia, and let's see what they have for us. Out of the 92 episodes of The Twilight Zone written by Rod Serling, this was his personal favorite. That's cool. Rated number 25 on TV Guide's 100 Most Memorable Moments in Television. I can see why. 2 pairs of glasses were used for Burgess Meredith's character. One with thick lenses for the close-ups and one with clear glass for the long shots so he could see. The exterior long library steps were filmed some months later and used as the steps up into an Eloy public building in MGM's 1960 film The Time Machine. They were also seen in John Brahm's late work A Nice Place to Visit, 1960. This is one of only 4 episodes of The Twilight Zone in which Rod Serling uses a mid-episode narration. The other 3 are Walking Distance, 1959, I Shot an Arrow into the Air, 1960, and I Sing the Body Electric, 1962. In 1960, John Brahm was awarded a Directors Guild Award for his work on this episode. That's cool. The first of 4 Twilight Zone starring roles for Burgess Meredith. Wow, okay, I thought it was just 1, so 4. We got to see him 3 more times, and I'm not complaining. The newspaper Mr. Bemis reads says H-bomb capable of total destruction. Noted atomic scientist reveals possibility of H-bomb. One of the world's leading nuclear physicists today stressed the danger to mankind in a race in the hydrogen bomb as total and catastrophic. In a speech given at a symposium on nuclear weapons before 35 top scientists of the United States and Great Britain. Rod Serling's closing narration begins the best laid plans of mice and men. A famous quote from Robert Burns. 1785 poem to a mouse. Burgess Meredith starred in Of Mice and Men in 1939, a film of the John Steinbeck play which took its title directly from the same quote. The full quote in the original Scottish dialect is as follows: "But mousie, thou art know thy lane, and proving foresight may be vain. The best laid schemes, O mice and men, gang eft agly and loo, us nout but grief and pain, for promised joy." The relevant line can be translated to standard English as "the best laid plans of mice and men go oft astray." I like that version better. Physics would suggest that Bemis actually could continue to read after his glasses broke by simply holding the books closer to his eyes. However, his glass lenses are extremely convex, which means that he is extremely farsighted, in which case he could not hold the book far enough away to be able to focus without the print becoming so tiny as to be eligible for even 20/20 vision. Well, that sucks. When Bemis reaches down to collect the poetry pages his wife have torn up, his glasses fall off. This subtly foreshadows the climax of the program on the library steps. The peculiar way that Henry's wife yells his name is homage to the Henry Aldridge radio show. Mr. Bemis goes on lunch break at 12 noon. As he nears finishing his break in the bank vault, the nuclear blast breaks his pocket watch with the time of day indicating 12:24 p.m. It was, very well made episode, you gotta say. I mean, that's why it won for a directing award. It also was very highly regarded in a lot of polls, too. So it's pretty good that this episode ended up becoming such a notoriety thing in the pop culture stratosphere. I think a lot of people probably have watched this episode due to the fact that it is Burgess Meredith. It also has a very good following, and it's just a very good story in general. And gotta say, I think it holds up. So let me know, comment below, what did you think of this episode? Does it rank up there with a lot of your favorite Twilight Zone episodes? Let me know. I'd love to know. And while you're at it, subscribe, because I'm going to be watching, have been watching, and I'm looking forward to getting to the end of this season so we can talk about all the episodes in Season 1 before we continue on to Season 2. And so until the next time, see you later.